Hi, how are you? Richard here from mymicrocoach.com. I'm glad you can join me where I'll be giving a product demonstration of MeetVio All-in-One video presentation and webinar software. MeetVio is a powerful platform. I've been using it for a little while now. I really enjoy it. It's simple to use. You don't need any technical skills, and best of all, it's feature rich without having to pay a recurring monthly fee or paying extra for features that other platforms will charge an arm and a leg for. And I've been through quite a few of them. So I just want to give you a brief overview of the dashboard, and then we'll go ahead and set up an event so you can see what it looks like and how easy it is. Super simple to implement and deploy webinars using MeetVio. So over here on the left hand side, we have our simple dashboard. We have events that have been created, our calendar, which is the default view that you see here, month to month, what calendar events do you have available, any contacts who subscribed into your events. And then finally, the studio is a feature that MeetVio supports, where if you have a video and you want to do some light editing to it, you can do that within the studio. So again, all in one. If you have a video, you need to add some text, highlight some things, put some calls to action in there. You can do that in the studio. Contacts, leads who have subscribed to your webinar are all there. Calendar view makes it very simple to see what events you have going on. And then finally, the events dashboard tab will show you all the events that you've created in the past. Now, why would webinars be good for your business? If you check your email inbox, you check what's going on online, one of the best and most powerful ways people are and businesses are getting leads into their funnels is with webinars. Why? Because first of all, if someone signs up for a webinar, they're likely generally interested in what you have to talk about. Two, if you get them on a webinar, whatever it may be, you have their ear for however long the webinar may be, 30 minutes, an hour, who knows, but you have their ear and at least some of their attention. They may be going back and forth between windows and other tasks, but at least you have their attention within that hour. And then three, with that, you have interest, you have their attention. It's up to you to close, and you can get incredible offers in front of prospects using webinars. That's why they're so powerful. And if you haven't been implementing them in your business, now is the time to do so. One of the barriers to entry, though, is the tech knowledge. If you don't know how to code, how to deploy HTML, that's usually been a problem in the past. MeetVio has solved all of that with a super simple interface. And again, we'll go through that to show you how super simple it is to create and deploy webinars on your website. Another thing is the cost. Um, it's prohibitively expensive to get video conferencing software, and especially when you want to do something like an evergreen or an automated webinar, they can cost a pretty penny. MeetVio, again, includes all of that with your low one-time cost of purchase. You're not paying monthly fees to get a larger audience. You're not paying monthly fees or paying extra fees to do automated webinars, to have a calendar showing certain dates and times. These are all features that other platforms charge you for. This is why I jumped over to MeetVio, and this is why I encourage you to jump over MeetVio, because they include lots of features that other platforms will charge extra for or recurring revenue for, and it's all available here in MeetVio. So again, here's a super simple dashboard. Calendar view is the default. Down here you have, if you have any API integrations or information on MeetVio's API, you can access that here. If you're using Zapier to connect MeetVio to some other tool or platform that you do use, it has Zapier functionality. And then finally, the roadmap. MeetVio has a lot of plans already laid out for the features that they'll be deploying shortly, including integration with Facebook Live, SMS reminders. So you get all of that already built into MeetVio. You don't have to pay extra for it. When it's released, it'll be released. But if you get in now, you'll have all those features built in. And one thing I really enjoy, and I've used it so far, is the availability of support. You don't have to email some other address. You don't have to contact someone. You don't have to struggle to find support on every page. And I'll show you this in this demonstration, that they've made support available almost everywhere. On every page you'll be within MeetVio, which I really like, because if I'm running into trouble, I don't have to go searching for support help. There's going to be something available right then and there to contact support. So in terms of recordings, what does MeetVio do in the sort of scale of video that you can do? You can create a recording, and that's if you want to, let's say, record a presentation or do a screen recording. You can do that from within MeetVio. If you want to hop on a video chat with your team members, a couple of clients, or a client, you can do that with a meeting. And I note here that there's a max of 5 people to a meeting. And then finally, you can create live webinars. So live webinars are great because you can set up for it, you can drive traffic to your landing pages, and you can have people live and really get great feedback within a webinar presentation. So live webinars are amazing. And then finally, you have automated or evergreen webinars. The drawback with live webinars is all of the work that you put into it. You have to set up the webinar, drive traffic to it, and then go through the webinar, and then you get a lot of good feedback, but it's a lot of work for a one-off event. Let's say you've gone through a few live webinars and now you've kind of got the presentation down, you know how to drive traffic to it. Maybe an evergreen webinar, an automated webinar is a solution, so you don't have to worry about any of the work driving traffic or actually doing the presentation. You set it and forget it. And MeetVio allows you to do any and all of these all within this platform. So for our purposes, because the automated webinar has the most options, or the most quote unquote to set it up, I'm going to go through setting up an automated webinar. So if you go here within MeetVio's platform, we're going to select a new webinar, and for our purposes, I'm going to select an auto webinar. Okay. Now this is the built-in checklist. You just go from top to bottom and you'll set everything you need to set within the webinar. So the first thing we're going to go through is the title. So let's go with why auto webinars are amazing with MeetVio. Okay. So there, our title's in set, and this is going to translate into our, as you'll see later, registration page, thank you page, and also some reminders. The next option is your video. Where's your video coming from? And MeetVio allows you to pull videos from multiple sources. So you can either upload a video that's being currently hosted on YouTube or Vimeo. So if you already have a recording and you're hosting it on Vimeo or YouTube, you can put in the link here, and then it'll pull the video from your account. If you've, as we showed earlier in the first screen, if you've created a recording and that's living within MeetVio, you can pull that recording from your MeetVio library, and you pull that within this option. If you have some other webinar, let's say you've run a few live webinars that you recorded within MeetVio, and one of them just hit everything right on the nail, and that's the one you want to use, you can choose that webinar from here, and that's going to be the webinar that's going to be living in your evergreen webinar, the video. Or finally, if you want to upload a video, a presentation, let's say you ran through a slideshow presentation that's very on point, you've got everything you got, and it's worked well, you can upload that video here. So for our purposes, I'm going to upload a video from here, and how to create an auto webinar is what I want to use. Okay, just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use that video throughout. So as of right now, we have a title, we have a source video. I personally, my preference is that people, when I watch webinars, I want to be able to pause and change, in terms of controlling the replay. So I'm going to untick hide replay controls, because I want my user, if they need to pause something, I want them to be able to pause and come back to the video. That's just my personal preference. Now, here's a very powerful function within MeetVio. And again, with other platforms, you have to pay extra for it, have an upsell. MeetVio is all included. You can create or set up registration of your webinar for all 7 days of the week. And as you can see here, every half hour, you can set it up. And this is really powerful, because if you're setting up a webinar, and this is the problem with like live webinars, if someone's just is not available, in my line of work, there are times where I have something in my calendar, but I have an emergency and I have to go and not available for that webinar. This allows people to register where they know they're going to be free. There are times where I want to watch a webinar. I would love to be on a webinar, except that it's Tuesday at 2 p.m. and I may not be available Tuesday at 2 p.m. What if it was available Tuesday at 9:30 p.m.? I would likely watch it. So these are all things that you'll have to decide, but MeetVio makes it available for the registrant, your lead gen, or your lead, to choose the time and date that's best suitable for them. So if I wanted to set up, let's say for this demonstration, I'm going to Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'm going to give them 2 times. I'm going to say that you can register for the webinar at 10:30 a.m. and then again at 9 o'clock. Let's go 8:30 p.m. So if someone comes onto this page, they're interested in what I have to offer, they're interested in learning more, they can select Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They can register for either a 10:30 slot or an 8:30 p.m. slot. So it gives them a lot of flexibility to really pick a time and date that works for them. Super powerful. And then down here, just some administrative things. How do you want date, month and date to show? In the United States, we're used to month, date, year, 12-hour clock, and I'm in New York, so that's that. Now, down below here, I want to show you some other things. This option here, make sure it's selected, because when on the registration page, this is going to show a drop-down menu of all of these dates and times that are upcoming. So you want to make sure that that's available. Send notifications. I'm just going to check yes, because later on in the video, I'll show you what these notifications are. They're very powerful email confirmations, timing confirmations before the webinar, and also post-webinar follow-up. Incredibly powerful. They're already built into MeetVio, and you can set it and forget it. So make sure that that's selected. And then finally, the Watch Now option. The Watch Now option, let's just say someone comes across your landing page and they want to watch a webinar, but for whatever reason, they don't know what their schedule is like, and they have some time now. They just found a break, they were searching the internet, came across your site, and hey, this webinar sounds cool, I want to check it out. If you leverage the Watch Now option, it gives your lead the ability to watch your webinar right then and right there. You know what that means? That lead that selected Watch Now is an incredibly hot lead. So I always like leaving the Watch Now function available, because while I want someone to pick and choose, and I want them to give them the flexibility of watching the webinar on their time, if they're a hot lead and they want information now, they want that information from me right now, I'm going to give them the ability to do that. So the Watch Now function is an incredibly powerful function already built into MeetVio. So right now we got our title, our video source. We've set up the schedule for users to pick the date and time when they want to watch the webinar. Now we're going to go into the registration page customization. Here is the MeetVio page. Registration page. They already got some templates. This is the template that you're using. You can customize the color, logo, text, all that kind of stuff. They've got some other in the roadmap, some more pages coming out. So look out for those. They should be released shortly. Here we're gonna add in some text. Come discover why webinars will help. Well, webinars will help boost your bottom line profits. Okay. Page content, if you want to add some more, the space, space is limited. Claim your seat, your spot now. Okay. Another incredibly powerful tool is a promo video. A promo video will be inserted right above the registration box. If you have a video that you want to say, hey, come check out this webinar, it's going to be incredibly useful, blah, blah, blah. It's another opportunity for you to talk to your leads. So if you can, create a short video, insert it there. For our purposes, I'm going to use the how to create an auto webinar video. So this video is going to be all over the place in our registration. In terms of the fields, you can add just takeaway fields. At a minimum, your required name and email address. If you want to add fields to collect your lead's phone number, address, city, state, whatever it is, maybe geolocation is important to you. So you can add those to your form just by clicking. So if you want to add phone and state, just like that, the fields will populate and they'll be on there. For our purposes, I'm just going to want name and email address. In terms of the color scheme, here's where you can play around with the colors to match your branding. So if you want to change the background, right, boom, let's go with the blue, a nice blue, purple blue. Here's where you can mess around with some other, the title. Okay, so I'm going to leave that at white. Here's going to be the text across the page. So if you want to make, let's say your colors are blue and green, maybe you want that. The box itself, you can change the color of the box again to match your, let's match this so that the colors are consistent. Oh, 7C. Oh, did I not copy it? Okay, copy. It's not letting me do it. But anyways, you can play around with the color scheme there. And also this is going to be our confirm box. So let's say we want a little purple. Boom. We have a customized registration page matching our brand's colors. And then finally, if you want to add another video, again, here's a message on the registration page. Yay. You've claimed. You've claimed your spot. And again, if you want to add a thank you video, we're going to add our webinar video. And then finally, save, if you have a autoresponder connected, what list you want them saved into. And boom, right, just going down, we have our webinar registration created. So we're going to save and preview. In a bit. If you want to add some participants directly, let's say there are team members you want to have on the call, on the webinar, you can do that simply by typing their email address and then sending the invite. Again, autoresponder, if you have this connected to an autoresponder, you can do that here and select where you want any contacts to go. Here's what I mentioned before, the reminder emails. Oh, sorry, let me just get this out of here. Built into MeetVio, which other video and webinar platforms do not have or charge extra for, are built-in email reminders. When someone registers, an email will go out saying thank you so much for registering. The email is taking place, date and time. Here's a link when it's ready. Here's a 1 hour reminder. Here's a post webinar email that goes out in the sequence. All these emails are built in, and you can add more if you want to change. Here's the format. You can select before the webinar, or you want this email to go out before or after the webinar. Do you want it to go out before? Do you want to go out several days before, or an hour before, half an hour before? You can customize all of that. Hey, a 1 hour reminder, or maybe, I want to change that to 30 minutes. So I want this email to go out in 30 minutes. Hey, half hour reminder. Okay, thank you so much for registering. The webinar is taking place in 30 minutes. Let's delete this. At whatever time, you can customize the text. Again, incredibly powerful, already built into the MeetVio platform. So all these emails are going to go out once someone registers. So I think we've got everything. Then finally, URL direction. If you don't want, if you have, when someone clicks to register, if you want them to go somewhere else other than the MeetVio thank you page, then let me take a step back. Once someone registers for the webinar, right? So let's go back here and look at the webinar registration page, and they click claim my spot. Okay. Once they click claim my spot, down here you dictate or you define what you want to have happen. If you want don't redirect, then it will go to the thank you page that we created with the thank you video, whatever the case is. It'll show the date and time. It'll also give the availability to use the add the event to whatever calendar they're using, Google Calendar, Outlook, whatever the case is. If you have a different page already set up and you want people directed to there, you insert the link here, always redirect, and it'll take them to that page. Let's say there's information you want them to review before they get on the webinar, so they're a little more warm. You can do that here. And then finally, this is a very powerful one as well. If you have a redirect that you want them to go to after the webinar has been viewed, let's say you have a sales page with a limited time offer, you can insert that link here, and then once someone registers for the event, it will take them to the registration, the thank you page that's built in. But then after the webinar's over, it will direct them to this page. Again, incredibly powerful stuff already built in and available for you here in MeetVio. So we're going to create this event. It's going to take some time to render the video and whatnot. Okay, now that the videos have been uploaded to MeetVio servers, we're good. Let's check out what our event looks like. So we're going to go to today. And here's the video we created, right? The webinar, why auto webinars are amazing with MeetVio. So if we want to go back and edit anything in our setup, we can do that simply by clicking the edit button. Now, I want to take you to the actual registration so that you can see what this looked like. So I'm going to log out here so that I don't have a problem. And this is, again, the registration page. Why auto webinars are amazing. Here's all the text we changed. Again, if we want to change our logo, we could have done that. And now here's what I was talking about. Very powerful stuff here. You can give the user the ability to pick and choose when they want to appear. So do you want to do it today, Wednesday, Friday? Or again, do they want to start now? And here's our promo video. Remember we inserted a promo video? That's going to show up. That's going to show up here. And then let's go to start now. I'm going to say Rich at mymicrocoach.com. Claim my spot. Let's look at the thank you page then looks like. See, like I said, you can give the ability to add it to whatever calendar they have. They can join the event now because they selected start the webinar now. And then also the thank you video that we inserted here. So again, very powerful stuff already built into MeetVio. You know, if you own your own business, small business, solo business, whether service or products, webinars are very insanely powerful right now to generate leads and clients for your business. You don't want to be left behind. Don't let the ability or you don't have the technical know-how to create a webinar. I just showed you how easy and simple it is to create a webinar using MeetVio. It's insanely powerful, insanely feature rich. And again, best of all, you get all of this functionality, all of this power for a one low time price. No monthly recurring fees. You know, there are a few upgrades that if you want within MeetVio, I think the most you'll spend is $250 for lifetime access with the most feature-rich thing. At its base, you get webinar support for up to 500 people. If you want unlimited webinars that can host unlimited people, so if let's say you get to the place where you're hosting thousands of people on webinars, first of all, congratulations, that's amazing. Secondly, it's going to be included all for a low one-time cost of, I think in total, again, $250 to get everything unlocked and unleashed within MeetVio. But again, at its base, you know, the MeetVio Basic, you're going to get support for 500 people. That's more than enough, especially if you're starting out with webinars and you want to just get into the flow of things. For less than $100, you can create webinars that can support up to 500 people. You know, it's just really, really powerful stuff. All of this is built into MeetVio. I can't say enough about it. The videos also work. I've tried this several times with people. They can access the presentations via phone. The chat works via phone. So one of the real good benefits of MeetVio is because they don't have like other platforms. I'm not, I don't want to name any of them, but oftentimes when you have popular webinar software, the end user has to download an app or download a package to run on their computer to then run that. That causes a latency issue. That is, as you're presenting, there's going to be a buffer, and so you're not matching up time-wise. If it's just a straight video chat, that might be it. But if you're presenting a screen share, there's usually a delay. Because MeetVio operates all in the cloud, there's no downloading of an app, there's no downloading of anything extra. People just have to, your users, your leads just have to be on a browser. They get the link, open the page, and then boom, they're in the webinar. So nothing extra. There's no extra parts to this. The videos end up being streamed simultaneously, so very little latency between you as a presenter and then your users, what they see on the back end. So again, can't say enough about it. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, rich@mymicrocoach.com. Otherwise, if you'd like to get in on it, just sign up for, and this will take you to a page where you can get access to MeetVio. All the information is there. You can start with MeetVio Basic, jump up to Premium, or there's an unlimited level that unlocks everything and anything you can think of within the MeetVio house. Again, super powerful stuff, all for a low one-time fee as opposed to monthly revenues. And again, as someone who owns my own small business and I try things like webinars in multiple businesses, it's important for me to bring my cost down low. So that's why having a powerful solution like this that I only have to pay one time for as opposed to every month is super helpful, super powerful for me. So thank you again for checking out this video. I hope you found it helpful. If any questions, again, rich@mymicrocoach.com. Otherwise, get MeetVio, get it through my link, and I hope you enjoy it. Take care.